Let me now introduce you to the Scottish runner, and it isn't Alan Wells. The Scottish runner is, of course, a stance and a delivery. It all begins on this, the mat. It should be 24 inches long by 14 inches wide and placed at all times along the centre line of the rink. The minimum distance of the mat from the edge of the green is 6 foot. A lot of new players, as soon as they step onto the mat, they freeze and become very tense. The bowler needs to be totally relaxed on the mat, feet poised in the direction of delivery. For example, on the forehand, my feet will be slightly to the right of the mat, and for the backhand, slightly to the left. By placing my feet along the line of the intended delivery, my shoulders, my body, my eye level are all in line with my intended delivery. These are the basics. There are many variations, but now let's get on with that Scottish runner. If you go to Scotland, particularly outside, you'll see a lot of Scots people delivering like this. I believe it's because they need a lot of momentum behind the bowl, because in Scotland the outdoor greens are usually very heavy and the amount of power that you need to deliver your bowl is quite immense. They stand on the mat usually with the left foot at the side, giving a nice firm balance on the mat. You will note that the action is very fast and free moving, probably because when I've been to Scotland it's usually been freezing. The athletic delivery, as the name suggests, is very athletic. It's suitable for those people who are physically fit. The delivery starts in the upright position. Shoulders vertical, head back, and arm freely moving. My feet in position enable me to swing my arm freely. The difficulty in the athletic position is that you've got to get this bowl down to ground level. So good coordination is required. In order to get that bowl down to the ground, I've got to move my feet, my legs, and the upper part of my body, remembering at all times that I must keep my head as still as possible to look at my intended line. Watch carefully the coordination required. One of the most interesting things about the athletic position is that when the body moves forward, you can very easily lose your balance. We often see players, when they're down in this position, moving their body forward, actually lifting the leg. As an experiment, I'd like to show you exactly what happens if I lift my leg. In order to maintain balance, my arm went forward, putting my body forward onto the bowl. When I'm actually talking to bowlers who actually use the athletic delivery, they find difficulty sometimes on very fast greens. They find that they're too strong, purely and simply because everything goes behind the bowl. In order to stop that, I often suggest to them that when they deliver in the athletic position, they perhaps leave the foot anchored on the back of the mat. It stops that body weight going forward. Having looked at the athletic delivery, Now let's explore the crouch and the semi-crouch, which of course is the other extreme because we are very near to the ground. The crouch is the popular alternative to the athletic stance. As the name suggests, the bowler is crouched onto the mat, either with both feet on the mat or alternatively one foot in front of the other and the bowl resting on the ground. It's popular for older bowlers who might have back trouble, and certainly this delivery reduces the wear and tear on the back. The bowler is already low down, the bowl resting on the green, and remember that the eye line is considerably lower than that of the athletic delivery. The alternative to that is the semi-crouch, which, as the name suggests, the bowler is semi-crouched from the athletic stance. Either way, the bowler has to give the bowl momentum from the body. It'll be interesting to note whether I can actually get enough momentum on this bowl from the full crouch position. I certainly found that difficult. And something else I find great difficulty with, the South African style. The South African clinic style delivery was introduced into South Africa by Dr. Julius Surge, a great thinker in the game of bowls. I believe he hoped to uniform delivery in South Africa to enable club, county and international players to simplify their delivery. He recommended that the player stood firmly on the mat, placing the right foot in the line that the intended bowl was to take. He then suggested that the player took a short step with the left foot, whilst keeping the weight on the back foot. The bowler then had to make sure that the arm was free and relaxed. The shoulders were in the same position as the foot, looking down the intended line, and also the head nicely balanced. The bowler then had to take one short step further forward with his left foot and deliver, like so. You will notice throughout delivery that my left hand was near to my left knee to maintain a balance throughout delivery. It's interesting that this delivery has worked for some of the greatest South African bowlers that we know today. Talking of great players, my great friend David Bryant has a very unique delivery, and I'd like to explore that with you.